Okay, all right, man.
Get the fuck out of here. Thank you for coming on the show, my friends. Alexis hungover.
Yeah.
Why?
She came in, she sounded like Philip Seymour Hoffman in Boogie Nights. She's like, oh, little Scotty B.
It's
like,
Monday.
I know. Well, it was from 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Mondays mean nothing to Alexi.
No. It all just runs together now.
It's true. It's true. But I want to thank you two gentlemen for coming on the show. You look fantastic. Quarantine has done you well. I know Lynch was just
thank you.
Lynch was just camping. Which brings me to my first question. Which of the two of you would be better to live off the land? Who would survive longer?
We argue about this quite a bit. I think I would survive longer.
Why?
Because
Look at Lynch.
Yeah, there's no way you'd survive long.
no, definitely. You're such a gadget guy when you go camping. You rely on too much stuff, and if you didn't have that, he bought a machete recently. Do you need a machete to camp?
That's not a gadget, Tyler.
Okay, a weapon.
That's a life survival tool that you need.
Right, but if you didn't have all your gadgets, would you be able to survive in the woods without them?
Yes.
I say the answer is no.
I know I
Look at
could.
this water bottle. Have you seen this? This is an $85 water bottle that you press it and it filters your water for you.
It also cleans the water bottle as well.
But
It looks like it's got a
ridiculous.
Bluetooth attachment to it.
It does. You plug it in.
It's
That's
cool.
pretty cool, though.
You can do your taxes on it. That's cool, man. I like gadgets.
I like the
too.
gadgets. It doesn't mean that I can't live off the land.
I think it's
I get
exactly
the gadgets to make living off the land easier.
Okay, so I guess if we're going out to live off the land, what are we allowed to bring would be a big part of the argument.
Well, if I was going to live off the land, I'd bring a Roomba out there because I don't like all that dirt. Let's get rid of that first. I don't know. I mean, it just seems like remember on The Office when Michael Scott decided he was going to go live in the forest for a while, and then within 10 minutes he cut his pants apart and made a headband out of them?
Yes.
That kind of situation.
Okay, so you have nothing then. You have maybe a
Okay.
pocket knife.
Yeah.
So you don't have your portable shower that you bring?
Portable shower? What's
Yeah.
that like?
That's fantastic, actually. You fill it up, you leave it in the sun for a couple hours, and it's warm.
But
You
I
hang
don't
it from a
understand.
tree,
Is it a
and then-
helmet?
No, it's a big-ass bag. It's a big bag. Put it in the sun, hang it on a tree,
Dude,
and you shower.
What if it's a whole suit that goes over your head and you just step into it and it's like a car wash for your body?
That's
a good idea.
Something, really.
I think I would come. I'm pretty sure. That sounds pretty good.
It can do that too for you. It's very technologically advanced.
Multifunctional. Okay, so you don't have your portable shower. What other gadgets do you bring when you go camping? He has like 6 cases of stuff. He brings a house camping. You're not camping.
Okay, this is coming from a guy who I say, hey, you want to come camping? And your first question is there any way I can roll my truck in there? Because my tent is stuck in the back of my truck, and, I just
That's where
won't
the
go in
tent goes.
Yeah, it goes on your truck.
Yeah, I could easily build some sort of survival hut, a shack.
Have you done that before?
Yeah, I think how long you can live in the woods depends on how long your rat tail
these
was when
guys
you were a
hate each
kid.
other.
And I had a rat tail
These guys fucking hate
halfway
each other.
down the back.
I'm serious about the couples canceling. Sorry, what's that? You had a rat tail?
I had a rat tail, yeah. Because I was a Boy Scout. Were you a Boy Scout?
Yes, I was.
Oh.
And I finished beavers.
How long was your rat tail?
It's like a merit badge.
Yeah.
I had a 6-meter rat tail, so
6 feet.
I also had lightning bolts in the side of my head.
That
and my
is
hockey number on the
dope.
other side.
that is dope.
That's an East Van rat tail, 6 meters long.
Hey, you looked like Riff Raff back then.
I want you to decide who you think and for what reason, both of you actually, who do you think would survive in the woods better?
See, Lynch goes camping all the time, and so I feel like he's experienced. And so I just think he'd know which berries not to eat, and you love fruit salad, so...
Lynch goes
Yeah, you're the
camping.
guy from Into the Wild. You're the guy who finds the bus and
You're a
dies
brilliant
from eating
poet.
berries.
Who dies in a school bus.
That's how I've always wanted to go. Okay, so you're picking Lynch then.
Unfortunately, I am.
I mean, I'm a pretty big gadget camper too. I like to have my
okay.
many bins of things. But
You're prepared, you know. You're prepared.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I like it. I like the comforts of home. I like to set it up like a living room. But I'm gonna have
Glamping.
to go with you because, you know,
Because
if you
what,
don't
the
have any
rat
gadgets, I know I couldn't
This long.
personally survive without all the gadgets.
There we go.
I'd
forgive
die
you for
on
my
the
own
way to the
experiences.
forest.
Yeah, you wouldn't make it very far.
No,
yourself,
dude.
Kevvy.
I'd be like, no green hair dye at all in the forest.
When's the last time you went camping?
Can you play NBA 2K in the forest? I don't
Need
want
the
my
comforts
ranking
of
going
home.
down at all. Yeah, no, camping, nope. Last time I went swimming, don't even know that. Last time I went, I don't even think I've been and stepped on grass in 12, 15 years.
Here's a couple things that are in Lynch's favor on this.
Okay.
You want to survive in the woods, you need to have a high, like, body fat
Oh,
level. When
Really?
you get
We're
out,
fat
when you
shaming?
get out, it's a compliment. Have you watched the show Alone?
What do you mean it's a compliment?
The show Alone.
I'm complimenting you, you fat fuck. Tyler.
It's fine.
Oh, I have a feeling you're going to get it later on in this show.
I want to hear your logic behind
Yeah,
this.
Okay, so there's this show Alone where they send people out and they had to live in the woods. They get to pick like 10 items. And the guy who won made it like 77 days in like the Northwest Territories. But like a big part of it was he had to up his body. Jesus Christ, Kevvy, I'm in the middle of a story.
Just make it more compelling.
Thank you. I need it. So you have to up your body fat to survive longer because you don't have that much food out there. And I'm just saying you have a good head start on me.
I've been in quarantine. I haven't done anything.
Right.
My gym's been
This guy-
closed.
this guy was drinking a bottle of olive oil every day leading up to it.
For real?
Yeah, that's how like much fat he wanted to put on, and he lost all of it within like the first like 20 days. So like, neither of us are fat
So
enough.
you're
but
actually
you're closer.
complimenting him right
Yeah.
now. Holy.
So you're basically saying that I would survive longer than you would in the woods.
At least
Tyler's
when it comes to
negging you.
the food.
This
part.
is what he does in the clubs to pick up hot ladies. He's like, hey, you fat bitch.
You know how long you survive in the
Go
woods?
camping?
I know a great spot where my truck will pull in.
Man.
I'll help you pitch a tent. Sorry, let's stop.
Lynch is your wingman that you're hitting on at the same time. Never seen that happen before.
What other aspects would help you survive in the woods? These pants, you would be camouflaged.
Yeah, it helps with my hunting. I'm not much of a gatherer unless it's with firewood.
The salmon-colored shirt would help you.
He's going to
attract
blend in
bears.
with the salmon.
I'm one
And
hunter.
bears.
I'm hunting and gathering.
You look like a berry.
This went off the rails. You guys are...
So we're tied, though.
Yeah, you are
say
tied.
Lynch, you say me.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one way to find out, and that's to do a camping
I
expedition.
have an idea.
Okay.
Lynch and I, we break up the show, and then Lynch is homeless, and he has
Okay.
to live off the land.
Like where this is going.
And then we just see how long he lasts out there.
But what about you?
Oh, I'll keep the show. Yeah. everything will be fine in my world.
I can see how this is fair to both of you.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
It's a bit. Do you remember Jackass? Was it Jackass or CKY where they went urban kayaking?
Yeah, it was Jackass that did that.
Jackass? I don't know what that's. I just pictured that's Lynch's hobby when he's homeless. Is he becomes a professional urban kayaker.
Wow.
This sounds familiar. What is this?
They just like take kayaks and go down fountains and stairwells and you know
Yeah.
that.
Tyler, I heard
It's good. It's a good
you
bit.
you look healthy-ish,
Thank you.
but I heard that you've had humiliating medical problems.
This is a long, confusing story.
Okay.
Let me paint the picture. It's college. I'm living with 3 other dudes.
Okay.
I hate going to the doctor, and I got a really
It's
bad.
mutual.
Yeah.
Sorry. Why am I being so mean to you?
I don't know.
I didn't
You
think
don't know
that was
my
mean
doctor.
at all.
Your doctor told me. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
So I get this armpit rash, and it's like real bad and like pretty painful, and it's like pussing, and like all the hairs are sticking together and clumping. So each time I like open my arm up, it like pulls out the armpit hair. Have you ever pulled out your armpit hair?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah?
that's just that's just a Saturday night for us.
It's not fun. It doesn't feel good. So I like let it go for like 2 weeks, and then this was like in like the early stages of photoshopping where like you could still trust stuff for the most part. And I had a friend who was in the graphic design program, and he went and he photoshopped all these pages to look like web browsers, where it was like WebMD and all this stuff saying that syphilis starts with a rash in your right armpit, like specifically the right. And it's like before you are questioning everything, so I just believe these like 10 printouts.
I mean, that sounds right, because it's like when your left side goes numb, it means you're going to have a heart attack.
Right.
If your right armpit gets rashy, it means you got an STD. Everybody knows that.
Exactly. So I finally like go to the doctor, and I'm like a little freaked out because I've never had an STI, whatever it is. Not important.
Seems to know all the terminology pretty good, though.
Just want to be prepared. I know it's coming. So I go in, and it's my first time with this new doctor, and they're like just going through the first like questionnaire, and like one of the first things he asks is like, "Are you sexually active?" And like in my mind, I'm like, "Here it comes," you know.
Here it comes.
So
Everyone's
he
got to
takes-
find out I'm a virgin now. Doctor, you don't need to tweet all my results. Sorry.
So he like leaves the room, and he comes back in, and he's like, "Oh, you had like an allergic reaction to your deodorant. You should switch brands." Blah 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 blah. And I let out like an audible like, "Whew." And he was like, "What did you think it was? Why are you so worried?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought it was syphilis." And the doctor audibly laughed in my face. He's like, "I think someone's fucking with you." He's like, "Is what?" He's like, "There's no such thing as a syphilis armpit rash." And then I went home, and then I didn't live that down for like till I still haven't. But
You perpetuated it here today.
have you guys ever thought you had an STD? Was there ever a moment where you're like,
I think I have everything. I thought I had corona. I thought I had...
Why did you think
then
you
why are
had
you sitting
corona?
so close?
to kill you. I think, Jonathan, the owner of the label, he and I share that, and it perpetuates itself in us sending each other weird emails about just WebMD disease things. It's like, I was short of breath today. It's like, but you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just paranoid all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Bit of a like internet hypochondriac.
Yeah, I am terrified of the internet, especially these days.
One time on WebMD, I typed in all the symptoms of a sunburn. Just I knew I had a sunburn, but I just wanted to see what it said, and it said I had a ringworm. And I was like, "This is
So
not
that make you
accurate."
think like, man, maybe shit, I got a ringworm.
I was like,
Yeah.
how many
was I
raw
doing?
hot dogs did I eat?
backfired on you? You're like, I'm going to totally troll WebMD right now. It ended up trolling you, my friend.
I don't know. There's that one episode of like Futurama where Fry gets a worm and it makes him like super strong. Have you guys seen that?
That must be what happened to me.
That's like what I thought about. Exactly.
Oh, it makes sense now.
Yeah, when are infections going to be like they are in comic books where it ends up in superpowers instead of you just being sad in bed,
Yeah.
Oh,
you know?
Imagine how much more fun a global pandemic would be
Yeah.
if it was like everyone became Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
I'd hope I'd get it.
We
I-
put window washers out of business because everyone would be so good at window washing.
That is an interesting point
That could be
about
an
what we would
easy
do with our powers.
side hustle for
Tyler's
Spider-Man.
like, I'd be good at cleaning.
My OCD
Fighting
is
crime?
showing.
No, thank you. Clean. I'll be.
It's not my job.
He'll be the best squeegee guy on Main Street.
Did you ever have an STD?
No, I've
Never?
never had one.
You ever thought you had one?
Okay,
Trying to
this is.
think about lumps on my balls, if I had any of those, but
I haven't noticed any recently.
well then no, I guess.
I had an ingrown really bad recently. I thought was maybe a disease. This is too much information. And then
I'm feeling very comfortable right now.
Was it
have
on
you
your
ever had an
balls?
ingrown
Great.
so bad? It was on like the bottom side, and I was like walking, and then like it popped, but I didn't notice it popped, and I
God.
felt so much moisture. I thought I peed a little bit, but it was just how big the ingrown was.
It's actually a ringworm, Tyler. It was trying to get out. Is
And
ringworm
then it
a
looked
worm?
like a crater.
I know MMA guys get it all the time.
oh really?
Ringworm?
Yeah, from mats. Like
Right.
Is it a worm?
I don't know.
God, I'm so fucking
Wait,
stupid.
What do you mean with the mats? How?
Because there's bacteria on there, and then it ends up resulting in. I don't really understand.
Is that ringworm or something else? Isn't that what Jonathan
Oh,
had?
it's an arm bar. Different. It's not even a disease. It's just a move. in
Ringworm is
UFC.
just like the term for the guys that hang around.
yeah. It's like lot lizards.
Yeah.
It's like UFC groupies, the fucking ringworms in the parking lot. That's brilliant, dude. Lynch, what's your worst date story?
My worst date story? Well, I was on a date with this young lady.
This ringworm.
Big fighter back in the day.
This episode's called Ringworm.
And we went out for a bunch of drinks,
Okay.
which turned into some shots.
Okay.
And more drinks.
Okay.
To the point where she was like hammered. So I'm like, all right, we got to go.
Yeah.
So we got a cab. And she was not able to tell me where she lived.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, well, you can sleep in the spare bedroom, whatever, my place. That's fine. So we're driving back to my place in the cab.
I know.
And
Good for
then
you.
we had stolen beers from the place we were at. Just a road beers, just under your shirt type
get
thing.
it.
And we're in the cab, and she starts puking all in her beer, and it overflowed in the beer all over me. And I spilt my beer all over the cab. Cab driver was livid. Rightfully so, because she puked. Nothing to do with the beer spilling, but just puked. And he kicked us out of the cab, and we had to walk, maybe a K back to my place, where she went inside of the house and said she needed to go to the bathroom. And so she went in the bathroom, and it was silent for like half an hour. I'm like, oh God.
Oh God, there's a dead girl in the
Like,
bathroom.
yeah, that was the first thought in my head. I'm like, what the hell? So I jimmied the bathroom door open, and there she was passed
Every
out.
2 weeks. Sorry.
I think I'd be used to it at this point.
Get the body bag.
Again.
Reusable body bag. It's a good investment. It's also a body shower. Sorry. Go on, Lynch.
Environmental.
So I jimmied up the door and opened it up, and there she was. She was passed out on the toilet. Just like sitting down like she was peeing, but just completely passed out. And she was there all night. Didn't move. I just let her sleep there.
No way.
She looked like that meme of that porn guy that was going around where he's just sitting there. With his hand hanging out. Rest in peace.
We all know the
Rest
one.
in peace.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
It's pretty sad.
I know. Sorry I brought that up.
That was your worst date?
Yeah.
I know Lynch's worst girlfriend.
I love this.
he had an ex go after him for alimony for a pet rabbit.
What?
Yeah,
They
that's
had
true.
together, and they tried to take everything. And this was like over a decade ago. She called the show like a month ago.
What?
Yeah, like
She wants to rehash that old nugget?
One time I was doing stand up. This was in Calgary, and like I had never met her before. And she came up to me after the show. It was like 12:30 at night. She's like, "Do you know Lynch?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Can we call him?" And I was like, "No, it's fucking 12:30. You crazy."
Come on, FaceTime,
Like,
motherfucker.
oh, we used to date, and then I remembered the story. I was like, "Oh my God, it's her!" And she like followed him to Calgary, and then now I don't think she's in Vancouver,
I
but
don't
she's
know where
found
she
the
is.
station number, and she calls. And then she found her like voicemail line. She calls and leaves voicemails. Oh my God, if I could find the voicemail,
Oh my God.
I'll look for it after, and if we can insert
Lynch
it.
looks terrified.
Love that.
She's insane.
I'm so excited.
There's a reason to be terrified.
Alimony over a rabbit.
How long did you date for?
5 years
Oh wow.
or so. Yeah, it was like we were long term at the, but
Yeah.
you're nuts.
That's wild. Did you see that coming when you were like together with her?
No, it wasn't until so my dad passed away from cancer, and it wasn't until him and I had our
Downer.
final chat. And my dad was like, "Just so you know, she sucks the living life out of you, and I wouldn't be opposed to you breaking up with her."
Wow.
So that was like our final chat that we really had. And so I'm like, okay, my dad probably wouldn't lie to me on his like deathbed here. So
Wow.
Yeah.
My dad's final chat with me is, I'm just going to go to the store for cigarettes. Now look at me. Now look at me.
Look what you did.
Look what you did, Dad. Sorry, I brought that up.
Yeah, he really brought it down here.
Well,
I'm
let's
sorry.
bring it back up with
The
some of
comedy
your
here
sadness,
on-
Tyler.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back up with some
I had a
of-
bad day. One time I spit food into a girl's mouth.
Oh my God.
She made me
I
laugh
just
so
tell
hard,
you-
and I spit out food, and it went into her mouth.
Let me ask you something.
And she was like offended, and I was like, "It's a compliment. You
Dude.
made me laugh really hard."
I was just telling my girlfriend this horrible thing about me, where when I
Which
was
one?
in there's several things. Oh, you're gonna fucking get it later. You're gonna get it. I was telling my girlfriend this one only singular bad thing about me, my personality. Just when I was in 8th grade, there was a girl I liked, and I was talking to her, and I was eating a granola bar, and I accidentally spat it in her face, and then I was not attracted to her anymore.
Like it was her fault.
It's like, ugh, can't shake that image out of my head of that you with that weird Gatorade granola bar all over your face. It's disgusting. This relationship's over.
One time in grade 8, I was
One
pretty
time
chubby.
in grade
I was a
8.
pretty chubby kid.
Yeah?
And these like two cool girls at school, they threw chocolate milk on me and called me fat. And I cried in the change room, and then they found out I cried in the change room, and then I got skinnier.
Did you go on the show alone? Is that where? You lost all that fat?
I mean, it seems like it worked. Who are
But I
they?
think a parent-
Shout out to those two young ladies. They
Yeah.
really helped his career.
I hope Matt
I
is
think you
treating
owe them
well.
alimony at this point.
You probably know their names still, don't you?
I do. Erica?
Hi, Erica.
Erica's the one that I remember. I forget the other girl's name. Erica was like the leader of the pack. You know, like the Etnies shoes,
Yeah.
like smoking darts at the skate park
Yep.
girls. It was them, but they're definitely on meth now. Like, for
Well,
sure.
they're-
so it's like I lost
Dude.
weight, they lost teeth.
Dude,
you know?
yeah, that's good. There are a couple of fucking ringworms. Fuck you, Erica.
Yeah.
You hurt my friend's feelings. And he
Kevin's on my
lost
side
weight,
now.
and it helped him in his
Erica
career.
actually seems like an interesting girl. I like her.
Lynch likes her style, actually. Well, this is a good question. I want to try and guess what the two of you were like in high school.
I love this.
Okay.
I want both of you to guess, by the way.
Okay.
Lynch first.
Yeah, Alexi, you go first, and
What was Lynch like in high school?
I don't know. I can only just picture you as you are now, but in high school.
Just the exact same.
okay. I think
I can't even picture any alternative.
I think Lynch was probably pretty popular and probably an athlete,
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Tyler, do Tyler now.
You said you were fat.
In grade 8.
I mean, like, I was too. Maybe just, like, I just see myself. I don't know. I see myself, like,
You look at Lynch
with your face.
You see Lynch. You look at Tyler, you see yourself. Tyler, I think in high school you probably ate your lunch in the bathroom.
When I was embarrassed of my weight, yes.
And a lot of lunch.
So
In the
much
far stall?
In the
really
far stall.
Really far stall.
The one that's actually out of order. And it's out of order because Tyler kept eating his lunch in there.
I think Lynch, you need to keep in mind for high school, it was like 100 years ago. Like, it was very, very different when Lynch went to high school.
Okay, it wasn't that different.
Like, his classmates were like Alexander Graham Bell, like they were inventing the phone.
Geniuses?
Yeah. Lynch
and
was
what
about-
happened with your generation then, when you went to school?
Oh, look at this.
It's always
Boomers blaming us.
Boomers!
Every time I
Holy
try
Christ.
to insult Lynch, he turns around and insults me. It's bullshit.
Guy just can't take a joke.
Oh man.
But it was like 100 years ago. So it was like him, but in like burlap sacks, I would imagine is what your clothes
No, that
were
was
made
just
out of.
because we were poor. But yeah, you got that right for my wardrobe.
Horse-drawn carriage to school.
Well, I lived in a small
One-room-
farming town, so
One-room
Still.
schoolhouse.
Well,
Yeah.
he was Amish, so
They build fine furniture.
the weird thing about him being Amish is he went to school with Alexander Graham Bell.
He
They
got
were the original
transferred.
odd couple.
Lynch was the valedictorian of his high school.
Really?
Yeah. What
I
What
was.
was your valedictorian speech like?
I don't even remember.
You have no idea.
I have no idea. All I remember is the last part where I yelled "Rock on '96."
Sick.
graduated in '96.
You went nib high football rules. It's a Billy Madison reference. Oh, no one's gonna get that. Actually, it's also a Bill and Ted reference. Thank you. Oh, it feels good to reference that stuff because I like it so much. Lynch, what's your craziest Vegas story?
Oh God. My first trip to Vegas is probably the biggest shit show in the world of shit
Is your
shows.
ex-girlfriend there?
No, thank God.
She had her rabbit
was
in the
watching the
casino. Yeah. She bet the rabbit on the roulette table and lost it.
This is Lynch's fault.
And this is why I was sued.
Lucky rabbit foot my ass.
Did I have your GST check? I win it back.
That is a real ringworm move. Can I have your GST check?
Oh, she got that too.
You are my boyfriend
So-
after all. I think you owe it to me.
Oh, man.
Wow.
This is why he's going to be homeless, because she took everything. He's still recovering.
Time for the camping challenge. When you become homeless is a good time for the camping challenge. You know what? I'm just going to embrace this.
I was basically homeless though my first trip to Vegas.
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, for like a while.
Really?
Because we were going down there for a week, which is way too long to go to Vegas. Way too long. But I didn't know any better. It was our first trip down there. We were going down there for a weekend concert. And I ended up getting lost in Vegas. Everybody else went. We were staying at Bobby Curtola's place.
Lounge singer?
Lounge singer. Famous Canadian lounge singer who also was down at Caesar's Palace there.
Do you guys know him?
No.
I do now.
I had to look it up too.
So, but anyways, we were staying at his place in a gated community, not on the Strip.
Okay.
And everybody had left to go back to the house, and I decided I wanted to stick around and, get her going on the Strip there.
Got it.
And then
Going on the Strip.
It's a very famous terminology, Tyler.
so I jumped in a cab to go to another casino, and ended up getting in a fight with a cab driver on the way. And
Bad luck with cab drivers.
yeah, it wasn't good. And this cabbie dropped me off in the middle of friggin' nowhere Vegas. And so I got out, and this is like the time of flip phones. So I phoned the radio station back to see, like, hey, can you Google where I'm at? And I had like one bar left. I'm like, hurry up. And my phone died.
Oh.
And so I was stuck in the middle of nowhere. Made my way back to the Strip somehow. But along the way, slept in a bush for one night, got up, made it to the Strip, met these randos where we went on a friggin' tear of the city. And we were up for another 2 days straight in Vegas before I finally ended up making my way back to the house where everybody was staying at.
Home of Bobby Curtola.
Home of Bobby Curtola. Where I then got chastised by everybody because they were all waiting on me so we could go to Vegas to go check out like Rage Against the Machine.
Oh.
And I was the one who was late.
Oh, no.
And you love Rage Against the Machine.
I
Get
do.
lost for 3 days in Vegas. Could you imagine being the board op, like the operator back at the station that gets the call from Lynch, who is like high up in the company at the time, and it's like some teenage board op who just wants to get in the radio. Is like, I'll help you find your way home, Mr. Lynch. Just hang on the line for a second. I'll MapQuest it. Then the phone dies, and he feels solely responsible for you getting lost.
As he should.
I like that the board op sounds like Michael J. Fox.
I think it's a left.
Times are tough. Oh, man.
Oh, remember when we had to use MapQuest?
Yeah, and you'd had to like print off directions to go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, I got a driving thing that bothers me I wanted to bring up.
Please do.
Okay. See if you guys feel this. It's
You know when you go camping and you're worried that your tent won't fit in the back of your truck? Sorry. If that hurt your feelings, this is going to be a long...
This is a lot. No, I was walking, and this convertible pulled up beside me at the stoplight, and then he was listening to talk radio in the convertible, and I feel like you should not be allowed to listen to talk radio while driving a convertible.
Yeah, that's not convertible
It's just
soundtrack.
not cool, like put on Trooper, like whatever it is, pick a song.
Yeah.
Because you see it rolling up and you're like, oh, this is dope ass midlife crisis coming here
Yeah.
in a Maserati, and then it's like the Dow is down 30 points. And you're like, you fucking
You're like,
loser.
that's not Limp Bizkit.
yeah, be cool. like,
Rolling by Limp Bizkit.
boys in the bright white sport car.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy Town Butterfly.
There's just certain don't pick talk radio. That's all. That was my whole
Kazzer.
thing. It bothered me. Kazzer.
Kazzer. Need some tub thumping or before 4 in there,
Before 4.
Before... No, it's got to be like...
Summer Girls. LFO.
I think that's too effeminate for the kind of guy who would buy a convertible.
Ah.
He's trying to show you he can fuck, and that's why his soundtrack is Papa Roach, Last Resort. Ladies,
Give me your best Papa Roach. Impression.
my best Papa Roach.
I bet you could do a Papa Roach.
I
on the
actually,
spot.
I mean, it seems like you just have a canned Iron Maiden riff, and then you just do a really bad Fred Durst over it. Why am I being so mean to Papa Roach? Haven't they been through enough?
Yeah, didn't the lead singer get herpes from his uncle?
Herpes?
From his uncle.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, like 80% of the population is herpes. How many from their uncle?
I think it's 50%,
Okay.
Tyler. Your doctor really fucking hates you.
You guys want to
Hey,
look
Tyler,
at this
you probably have herpes. Don't wear a condom. I don't know why I just did that to Papa Roach, but when you have a name like Kobe Dick, you're kind of asking for it. That's the singer's
his name?
Yeah.
Kobe
Really?
Dick?
You know, they're one of the few bands, and I'm sure you guys can. This is the right audience for this, but they transitioned from nu metal into like emo somehow, seamlessly.
It was very smooth.
This is impressive, and I actually think he's a good frontman. I saw them live before, and he was really good. So I don't know why I said such mean things about him.
They're just an easy target.
You know what, though?
Don't feel bad.
Yeah, I don't.
If it counts for anything, I'm sure they'll never see this.
I mean, they're no Alien Ant Farm. What are they doing?
Could you imagine being Alien Ant Farm? Like, instantly, you're bastardized by your parents. Because they're not inviting you for Christmas anymore.
Yeah,
'cause
my
you're
kid,
that-
he did that stupid Michael Jackson cover.
That's the reason why. You've never done anything yourself.
The video is in a wrestling ring.
Oh, man.
You know what's crazy? This friend of mine.
Wrestling ring. I remember that video.
This friend of mine, his name's Cadaver. He is the
Couple ringworms around there.
couple ringworms. My friend Cadaver, he was Wes Borland's tech for a long time, but he grew up with those guys, with Alien Ant Farm and Papa Roach. Actually, God damn it! Why did I say mean stuff about this? Sorry, Cadaver. But he was on the bus with Alien Ant Farm when they had a crazy bus accident in England, and like the driver died and stuff.
Really? That happened to them?
Yeah, like on their first tour. So I'm sorry I said that, Alien Ant Farm. You're good guys.
Do you think
survivors.
quarantine has been good for bands? In the sense that less people are dying in accidents?
Well,
It
yeah.
seems like there's an
happens.
astonishing amount of vehicle and plane accidents involving musicians.
Less pollution.
Yeah.
So all those bands that were dying of pollution are probably okay. Yeah, I don't know. My band's been enjoying it because it's like, oh, we can't be around each other. Let's use our promo money to hire Insane Clown Posse to do our promoing for us.
Which is rad, by the way.
I prefer that.
It's amazing who's on Cameo.
I love it. It's just a hobby of mine just looking to see. Is Jonathan Taylor Thomas on there? No.
Are you on Cameo?
No. Jen and Sylvia are, though.
Oh, you should get on
You
Cameo.
should get on there.
I get on there for back rubs. I'm free, but I will need a back rub after quarantine. This is getting so weird, dude.
Oh, it's
When I said that, you guys looked at me so weird.
Yeah, it was kind of uncomfortable.
Sorry, guys.
I was just thinking about your soft hands.
You guys sound like you need a back rub. Yeah, the weirdest people on Cameo, like, I pay attention to it so much that when Ron Jeremy got arrested last week, I was like, wonder if he's still going to be on Cameo. He's not.
Really?
But he was trying, when he was doing the trial, he was trying to get a bunch in quickly before he went to jail.
No way.
So he was like, discounts on Cameos. I like that he was wearing an Insane Clown Posse shirt when he was arrested, by the way.
Really?
That's the way to get arrested.
wow.
Was it over the tree, or is there something else horrible?
Over the tree.
There was a story. There was a big old tree in front of his mother's house that the city wanted to cut down, and he refused.
No, he got
was
arrested
like,
for rape.
Okay.
You didn't know that part?
No, I thought it was over the tree.
No.
That's less cool.
See, everyone's
you got
looking-
a Ron Jeremy story.
Everyone's looking at you like they did with me with that back rub thing a second ago. What's your Ron Jeremy story?
We were supposed to interview him once. It was when we were working in Calgary, and he was coming to do the Taboo Naughty But Nice sex show
Okay.
Oh my
at the
God.
Calgary
No
Convention
free ads,
Center.
no free ads.
No free ads. And
lot of
we were-
back rubs
he was
going
like
on
the,
there.
the guest of honor, which is bad now considering what he's been arrested for.
Yeah.
But we were supposed to interview him to promote the show, and we were supposed to call him one morning, and his agent was like, okay, you got to call him. He's in Toronto at the sex show there. You got to call him because if you don't call him, he won't get up, and then he's going to miss his flight. And I was like, why is that our responsibility?
Yeah.
So we called him 5 times, and he didn't get up or answer the phone, missed his flight, was late for the show. Then their management team was like, this is your fault. I'm like, how is this
Yeah,
our
we got
fault?
blamed for that.
Dude, you wake him up.
It's like, what are you going to do? Fire me?
Yeah. So the next day they're like, okay, he's in town now. They want to do it, so you got to call him again. Once again, we had to wake him up. So we call. He actually wakes up this time. He's clearly just getting out of bed. He's like, hello. He sounds rough. I don't know if you've heard him talk recently. It's
Yeah,
not.
he sounds like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get him up. The agent's like, you got 10 minutes with him. No longer. He's got stuff to do today. 10 minutes goes by. We haven't asked one question. He's just talking and just going on. And it got to the point where we were 25 minutes in, and we're like, hey, we got shit to do, Ron. And he's like, just wait one more second. And he was on the phone for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And he just would not stop talking. He just he wanted a friend. I don't know what he like. He was so lonely. I felt bad.
We pretty much had to hang up on the guy.
Yeah, we had to like hang up on Ron Jeremy. We're like, we have things to do.
It's a lot of views that need to be shared. People want to know Ron Jeremy's political opinions.
Oh man!
I can't believe I thought he got arrested for a tree.
I love that.
Hugging a tree.
Yeah, what the hell?
I love that Dave Chappelle bit on his first special about asking celebrities their political opinions. Like, everybody's got to know what Ja Rule thinks about this. But what about Ja? It's brilliant. I like that he did that in his first special and called it back on his new special.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He's the best.
He is the best.
He's the best
I think
of
so
all time.
too. I think so too. A lot of those guys are doing their specials right on YouTube now because like Netflix has all these like bad comedy specials, I think. So like Mark Norman and Sam Morrill and him and Hannibal Buress all are just putting it right on YouTube
Yeah,
now.
I saw the Hannibal one came out.
I loved it. It was really funny, I
I
thought.
haven't seen the Hannibal one.
Yeah.
Saw the Sam one. Saw the Mark one. Both great.
Yeah. There's some good ones this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a weird time for comedy. Like,
I know, it's like the Zoom shows. Like I was talking to Yumi yesterday and she's like going to do a Zoom show. I'm like, are you going to do stand up from your bedroom?
right.
It's like, great. This is a great way to test new material. Yeah. You can't hear if anyone's laughing.
Right.
It's so weird.
You're just in your own bubble. You're just like, I think that was good.
It's pretty good.
I liked it. Felt good coming
I
out
can
of
hear
my mouth.
laughters. I can hear laugh.
It's kind of fun when you can like see the guests too, and they're like all in their homes, and like they've got like their pets
Yeah.
with them.
Right.
What's your best bomb story, Tyler?
My best bomb story. Well, one time I did a show at an IHOP. And have I told you about the IHOP story?
I don't think so.
I was a buddy of mine was headlining, and he just asked me to come open. And we had drove out to Chilliwack for the show. We got there, and it was in an IHOP, which was attached to a Travelodge hotel. And we're like, this is great. So we walk in, and it's literally just in the back of an IHOP. And we're like, what is this show for? Like, he got booked for it. He knew it was like some sort of fundraiser. And we were raising money to fly a horse to Berlin for a dressage competition. And like, big horse crowd, lots of horse people there. The IHOP manager hosted the show with like his uniform on still and like a name tag. And he forgot to turn the lights on, so he was just standing in the dark, just being like, welcome to IHOP. We also have comedy for horses.
Ironically, the horse crowd hates horse jokes.
Yeah, well, that's where we're going. So like, I worked at a horse track for a while growing up. Just because we were real white trash, and
You did live across the hall from a meth lab at one point.
Yeah,
Go
I did.
on.
that
Tail.
as well. That was in Toronto. That was when I moved to the big city. In small towns, meth labs are in sheds. You know,
Yeah.
like decent folk. In Toronto, it's just across the fucking hall. It could blow up at any time.
Yeah. So selfish.
It really was. That Russian guy was crazy. I didn't need to specify.
We were all picturing it.
Yeah. Anyways, we're doing this horse show, and I go up, and I'm like, okay, I got some like horse experience, but I've never really worked it out as comedy material at all. And I started telling this one story that once I got like halfway through it, I realized like the horse dies at the end of the story, and I was like, oh, they're gonna hate this. and then I was like, because like I was like 14 and this horse crashed on the track, and then they made me drive the horse ambulance, which is just a truck with a trailer on the back, and I had to go up, and like I'm 14 and I'm holding this horse as it's like dying, and then they give it. It's horribly sad. I'm sorry, but they like put it down with like a needle, and I had to like hold it still, and then I had to like wrap a winch around it and just like winch this dead horse onto a trailer.
I mean, it's killing with Alexi.
I know. It's not much of a bit.
That being said, all she does is watch murder documentaries.
She's right up my alley.
She's like, go on. Then who died?
There's never enough death with white girls. White girls in the true crime.
I know. I don't know what it is about us.
It's like, I don't know, it is just so funny.
I watched the murder. What is it, like Dark Tourist or whatever on Netflix, where they go to the different like
Haunted
places in the world that are haunted and stuff, and they went to Jeffrey Dahmer's hometown, and they do.
Alexi's like, oh, I wrote that episode.
And they do like tours of his like bar and his hometown and stuff like that, and they go to take the tour, and it's just a bachelorette party. And that was like, who's taking the Jeffrey Dahmer tour? And I'm like, who the fuck is marrying this person?
She loves it.
That's next level. That's like beyond me.
Right, like red flag though. If you're that guy, you're like, what are you doing? You guys gonna go to Vegas? You know what's crazy?
You know what's crazy?
Oh my
Louise
God.
Burns, like the musician, she used to be in Lilix, and they accidentally stayed in that hotel when they were teenagers.
For real?
No way.
And this is where he ate that guy's arm?
But she said that she found out after that they looked it up, and like there were at one point bodies in the walls and stuff like that. Anyway, back to your horror stories.
That's why women. I figured it out. What? Women like Jeffrey Dahmer because no one eats ass like a cannibal. We found it. Is that why?
Fuck you for saying the funniest thing this whole episode.
So this horse is dead.
That sounds like a Gavin Matz joke, by the way. So this horse is dead.
The horse
Horse
is
is
dead.
dead.
I wrap it in the thing and I pull it on the trailer, and then because it's a racehorse, they have to like test it to make sure that they weren't giving it any drugs or there's nothing like that. So I have to wait with it, like someone has to sit present with this horse until the people from the university get there to do the testing. So the guy's like, like I just had to stand in a trailer with a dead horse for like an hour, and I was like paranoid, A, it was going to come back to life, B, it was the most disgusting, horrible thing in my life. But I decided to tell this story to the crowd full of people who are there to raise their money for their fancy dance horse to go to Berlin. And they weren't into it. I did it in like the first 5 minutes, and it was like a 20-minute set, and I was like, I'm never going to win them back over.
Oh, no.
They're still pretty caught up with the dead horse thing. And then the IHOP manager had to come up afterwards and be like, give it up for Tyler.
Oh, no.
And
We
I
got
was
IKEA
like,
meatballs on special right now.
horse steaks. Anyways,
Man.
You're just wearing an Elmer's glue shirt.
it was just...
Okay,
that was probably
fellas,
my worst bomb.
it's that part of the show.
Okay.
It's the roast. Ding, 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 ding. It's the roast of Tyler and Lynch. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, so gentlemen, I hope you brought your thick skin because I'm really going in on both
Lynch
of
only
you.
brought his thick dick. Sorry.
I mean, it's kind of
Compliment.
Hey,
Kind of
thanks, man.
High
I
five.
don't really understand how
High fat
roast
content.
work.
That's what I was saying about the body thing earlier. It's
Yeah.
all in the...
So I'm
By the
gonna.
way, pause. Did you hear about the guy in Florida who stole a plane? He was on the tarmac stealing the plane, and the police came to arrest him, and he was like, hey, do you guys know how to fly this? And it was like, that's big dick energy.
No
You're like stealing a
way.
plane, and you're still willing to ask the cop for flight advice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Maybe he thought he'd like join in and they could go on a trip together.
I like that.
Anyway, now I got to restart the segment. Ding, 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 ding. It's the roast of Tyler and Lynch. Now prepare, fellas, because I'm really going to go in hard on both of you. So I hope you brought your thick skin. Don't make that same joke about Lynch's dick again. So,
Thick like Kevvy's hair.
hell yeah. Oh, man, this is going great. So I'm going to go back and forth, just round robin, okay? You both agreed to this, and so, we'll see what happens. So I'm going to start with Lynch. Lynch,
Okay.
hope you're okay, man. I'm really going to go deep here. Lynch had recently felt some friction from his family because they miss him so much because he's always out doing charitable acts and they love him so much and they miss him.
Actually, my mom did say that.
That's pretty.
Oh, he's such a good guy in the community. What a loser.
Tyler, I'm just impressed you skipped Little League to be here. Tyler, you have the face of someone who deserves to lose custody of their kids. Tyler, you look like the default character from The Sims.
I have the most generic white guy face. It's a real problem. Can we pause to talk about my face?
Well, I'm going
Like
to.
if I said I was
We
Ryan,
paused to talk about my face.
if I said I was Ryan Seacrest's cousin to anybody, they'd be like, "No way," and I'd be like, "No, really," and they'd be like, "Huh," and they would
Yeah.
believe it because we just have that. Like I go to the same coffee shop every day. Every single day, and every day the same lady working goes, "Oh, the milk's over there," and I'm like, "I'm here every fucking day, and I know where the milk is." She can't remember my face,
And I'm lactose
She's blind,
intolerant, you
so it's
bitch.
not really fair. But sorry,
Okay, back to you,
orange
Lynch.
face.
Okay.
Sorry about that hot lava you experienced a second ago, because here comes some more. Lynch's home is messy because of all the awards he's won over the years for being a successful radio program director, so there are statues and trophies everywhere representing his skill, and it's getting a bit cluttered for his taste.
I do get complaints about that. I can't put up any other pictures because those are all just hanging.
Yeah.
How come mine have been... No, go ahead.
I mean, don't complain. Like, Lynch isn't complaining when I roast him, so don't get
It
sensitive
just
on me
feels like
now.
there's a difference in the...
In the what?
In the...
I don't know what he's
I don't know, man.
Maybe that's a little sensitive.
If you're a comedian, you should kind of understand what a roast is. I mean, Lynch
fair.
is not complaining at all, so anyway.
Okay.
Hey, Tyler, youporn.com called. It just wants to be friends. I just found out Tyler has a small tail. No joke there, that's just disgusting.
Really?
I have a small tail.
He does, for real.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
It's like my tailbone sticks out a little
Please
bit.
put that
I can't
away.
wag it or anything, but
It's fucking so gross,
just
dude.
I'm not going to take my pants off.
It's just so gross, so...
There's a lot of hair around it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Lynch just pet it.
Tyler, you have a face for radio and a personality for living by yourself forever. If you're a rapper, your name would be Lil Incel. You look like a flea market knockoff version of Macklemore. You look like Ellen DeGentrification. Tyler, you look like a male blow-up doll that surprised people want to have sex with it.
Right there. That right there.
Wow.
You're so boring and generic looking, I wouldn't recognize you in a crowd of two. Also, I hated your mustache.
The mustache is gone.
Yeah,
That's
thank
probably
God.
for the best.
You look like a member of the boy band One Infection.
And it's right here.
You look like Inspector Ratchet. You are the human equivalent of small talk, and I don't like talking to you.
I thought we were friends.
Dude, this is a roast. Lynch took it on the chin just fine.
This was about how good he is in the community and all the awards he's won.
No, I don't have wall space. That's what he's making
Dude,
fun of.
now everyone knows how messy his apartment is.
He's gonna have no wall space when he's
Exactly.
homeless. Sorry. Hang your awards in the woods.
Tyler, you look like rejected Incredibles concept art.
How much time did you spend
When you
on
go
this?
to the hairdresser, you show them a picture. Well, it's not a picture, it's just a piece of paper that says, "Make me look like a racist."
I do kind of have that, like, Richard Spencer haircut on the go.
Oh, my God.
I had a comic tell me that one time.
Really?
She was following me, and she was like, "Give it up for that last guy who looked like Richard Spencer," and people laughed, and I didn't know who he was, so I just went, and then I didn't realize I agreed that I was a white nationalist.
Oh, no way.
Anyways, it's fine. I don't buy tiki torches anymore. It's not worth it. My patio's so dimly lit.
Tyler is an ex-member of Hanson whose main instrument is meth.
Okay.
Well done.
Oh,
Okay,
that
Tyler.
was
You
really
Any more
good.
for Lynch?
I lit up Lynch just fine. So if you can't handle the hot sauce barbecue shack that you walked into for this roast, then I can't help you.
And I actually don't even think that was that bad.
On Tyler, I know I kind of went easy on him.
You did.
But yeah, Tyler, did you want to roast me now? You get one joke.
One joke. Kevvy's tattoos are so bad, it looks like he let an 8-year-old loose on MS Paint.
Get the fuck out of here.
Kevvy's hair looks like string beans.
Okay, all right, man.
Get the fuck out of here.
Like, really.
Kevvy's...
Get the fuck out of my building.
I can just
leave.
Should I just leave?
Why would you say that?
Get out!
Okay!
Get out!
Okay.
God, that was rude.
You work with that fucking idiot. Wow. Dude, he didn't tell me that you worked with a fucking dickhead.
Well, I didn't know he was gonna go after you like that. Like that was a bit offside.
That was pretty rough.
I apologize for him, but.
Why are you wearing a sweater that's also a t-shirt?